A tepu, drawer of maps. I have nothing to sell unless you are needing something else. What I discovered remains to be seen. The Sanctuary Isles were thought to be lost beneath the waves. If I stumbled upon one, I can think of worse finds to credit my name. Our ancestors marked off specific islands across Deadfire as rallying points in case a great misfortune split up the tribes. Even they could not have guessed how important the Isles would become. Some thousands of years ago, volcanoes, storms, and quakes shook the archipelago. Any one of those do happen, but never with such ferocity or all at once. The Huana survived by taking shelter on the Sanctuary Isles to save our society, and not just any one tribe. Since those days, we have not found any of the old Sanctuary Isles. Ngati took some beneath the waves, taking whole tribes with her. Others were lost to time and forgetfulness. I am told that the Wahaki are protective toward the Isles, but that is their business. I was surveying the waters around an atoll when a storm dragged my ship off course. The waters were unknown to me. When a green fleck appeared in my spyglass, I unfurled my sail. The shore twisted around itself, confusing even this old navigator until I found myself at the center. I did not make it far up the beach before I spotted signs of habitation. Marking my coordinates and orienting myself by the evening sky, I made for Neketaka to tell the crown of my findings. Understand, the Deadfire was broken. The lives lost could not be counted, and more has been forgotten than may ever be remembered. Imagine how much history we lost in a single year, much less the millennia that followed. Whatever our people hoped for themselves, we may never know if we got it right or wrong. Death. I did not mean to frighten you. These islands have known great tragedy, and millennia have passed in cheerless silence. Should you land on a sanctuary isle, do not expect to find welcome. Ah, if we must. There is not a Huana in all of the Deadfire who does not take to the open water hoping to catch a glimpse of the lost Ukaizo. Oh, if I could walk the beaches of our ancestors, take a fleeting glimpse of what they left behind, mine would be a life well lived. The same thing we all hope for, answers to the long silence that precedes our history. Who we were could tell us who we are. But if I am being selfish, maps, charts. Our ancestors were keen explorers, and a roll of their parchment could teach us more than what we have gathered in the last century.
What do you need of me? Well? I suppose it is. Are you familiar with the shield bearers of Saint Elka? We are a paladin order. The order began as guards for Elka, a noblewoman emissary of Kulkin, who bartered for peace with the kingdom of Vadir. The Order's founders were forbidden to bring weapons to the meeting, and she was attacked. With only their shields to aid them, They fought off her attackers and brought her to safety. She later died of her wounds, and the shield-bearers of Saint Elka were born in her memory. I am the son of a disgraced noble family. My father and brothers were executed for treason when I was a boy. Rightfully so, I must add. And my mother, sister, and I were thrown out on the street. All we had to our names was a trunk full of heirlooms. One of them was this suit of armor, which belonged to my eldest brother. Now I endeavor to live up to its promise and redeem my family's honor. That's the long and short of it, really. Well, you would need to become a shield-bearer yourself to really learn it all. But I suppose I can teach you a thing or two as we stand here. The privilege will run you 3,000 copper, however. As you like.
Ado, Watcher. Clearly you are an interesting woman to know. You should speak with Governor Alvari in our headquarters down the mountain in Queen's Berth.
Is there anything the Watcher does not see? We have both seen the worst of the city. How the Reparu cluster like sea rats. Delver's Row will take care of them for a time, but I say the Crown will not suffer the Principe for long. How did the stone walls and paved lanes of Nekataka divide us so? You have walked the length of Nekataka's spine. How would you serve the needs of all these people at once? You think that something in the great pattern of Nekataka does not align with the Hawana way? I was hard-pressed to find insight like yours in Pariki's Overlook. You have questions? Ikera, I have answers.
I shall make it so.
Hello there! Come to have a word? I don't bite, I promise. Yes? Gladly, my friend, gladly, and how kind of you to ask. I am the youngest son of a noble house. Now, don't make that face. Poor, desperate fool, you must be thinking. Well, waste not your sympathies on me. Truly, I consider it a boon rather than a punishment. All the comfort and none of the responsibility. What's not to like about that? As I was loafing about my father's estate, I thought, well, Gervard, isn't it time you made a name for yourself as well? So here I am, and though I dare say I'm little use in a fistfight, I can do a fair bit of magic and draw a lovely map, so I've taken to charting the interior wilderness of the Deadfire's larger islands. Ah, but it's worth it for the stories I'll one day have to tell. But truly, if I could only inspire others as I myself have been inspired by those old tales, why, it would be marvelous. Anyway, enough of my prattling. Surely you've other things to do. Oh, it would be my absolute pleasure. For a price, of course. 3,000 copper? Well, I'll be here if you change your mind.
Thank you again. The Harapo epic is in the right hands at last.
Hunter or prey?
Do you seek companionship on your travels across the Deadfire? Why not take a little friend along? We have many animals on offer, all well-trained and eager for a new home. Akira, you are sure to find one that suits you.
So, it will be you, then. You do not know what I talk of, Akira? Then I owe you an apology. I have collected many foes over the years. Some of them would sprint up the mountain to see me push through the jaws of the great eel. You do not recognize the great huntress of the archipelago? Ah, the candle of infamy burns too bright and too fast. As Nungata whale splitter, I cleared the jungles and seas alike of slippery creatures. I earned my foes later when I hunted a deadlier prey. Akira, often. I was a bounty hunter.
You're Nungata, eh? I heard you'd gone all dry up in driftwood. The sea word weren't far from the mark.
Spoken like a man who has never heard a driftwood club crack an enemy's skull. It's been years since I tossed a harpoon, so now I stay abreast of what bounties need filling. That's Mataru retirement for you. An occupational hazard, I say. Hunters do not play well with others. Didn't you help me track down that crab thief in Etua?
So it is true what they say. You never forget a face. Nungata, a pleasure as always.
Hard to forget the boy who pilfered half my earnings when he thought my back was turned.
That is a vile falsehood. I pilfered a third of your earnings, a finder's fee.
I miss traveling across the archipelago, answering to no one but my empty belly and purse. But this is a younger woman's game. Better that I step aside and make way for aspiring killers. Akara? Interested in taking up the trade, are we? I hear you've done good work for a boko. We all start somewhere, I suppose. I warn you that I deal in the heads of the exceptionally dangerous. A lady needs standards, after all. You assume right, Hunter. Let's cut your teeth on clever Bena, infamous dwarf mystic of the obscured. A scavenger, I say. Picks off those who trust her for an evening, and then pockets their coin when she's bled them out. Bena was seen traveling on an island due southwest of Osongo.